pray. Father, thank you for this day. Thank you, Dr. Sir. Thank you for guiding us, keeping us Father, this time, Lord. We pray that you use me as your mouthpiece, Lord. Father, we pray that you use your words to teach your children, Lord. In your mighty name we pray. Amen. So, spoiler, the title of my message is Everybody Poops, right? So let's get into it. Hot topic. Literally. So, what is poop? I'm not joking there. I'm talking about poop. Poop or feces, for those of you who don't understand what poop or feces is, the Tamil translation, it's kaka, kakus, like there's different words for it, right? Poop or feces is the result of your body digesting food and taking the necessary nutrients and minerals out of the stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. So basically, whatever you eat and enjoy, it's the output. It's the waste that you produce, right? All organisms produce some sort of waste. Animals, plants, bacteria, even the smallest cells produce waste. Holding in poop causes pain, and for too long can cause bodily malfunction. So if you don't poop on a regular basis, you need to poop. Show of hands, is there anyone that doesn't poop on a regular basis? Good. This message will not make sense if you don't, right? Average person poops about once a day, and a lot is about a person's health is you can tell from just their poop, right? So if you go to a doctor, right, they ask you, first question is, how's your poop, right? Now, pastor asked me to preach, and I was kind of like, so I was going to make sure, I took everyone down with me. So Gobi sitting there laughing, because now he has to upload this to YouTube, right? Have fun with that. It's for you, buddy. So, I'm a parent. So I've been a parent for 2 years now, right? So I have Ethan. And in the last 2 years, I've seen a lot of poop, right? More poop than I should, right? Just because he's a baby. We're in this phase where he's 2 now. So the age of 2, you consider that the terrible 2s, right? So you're kind of getting them more independent. They're becoming their own person, right? So he's potty training, he's doing all this stuff. The crazy thing about being 2, and the reason they call it the terrible 2s, is because at this age, he's had a year to walk, right? So he started walking when he was a year. He's had a year to walk, so he's quick. Like I turn my head and he's gone, right? He's no longer, I can just put him in one spot and he just stays there. The other thing is, the last 2 years, he's been taking personality traits from everyone he interacts with. So he has a little bit of me, a little bit of Jenny, a little bit of my mom, a little bit of my dad, a little bit of the Jaja brothers, a little bit of their parents, right? Everyone he interacts with, he's kind of amalgamated into one personality, right? And he thinks that personality rules all, right? He has the biggest personality. Like, he thinks he owns everyone. Like, if he says something, you have to do it, right? And at this age, the other thing that develops really well, which I hate, is temper tantrum, right? So if I take him to the park, and he does something, and I say, no, don't do that. He has a temper tantrum, and he drops on the floor, kicks, whatever, screams, cries, and if he cries, it's those big crocodile tears, right? It just starts pouring, right? If you've ever seen him cry with me, the first time I was like, I was so heartbroken. I'm like, no, don't cry, come to me. Now it's getting old. Now it's not that funny anymore. It's not that cute. If he cries, I kind of let him cry, and I just sit there and go, okay, when you're ready to, stop being a little baby, we'll go from there, right? And that's when it started thinking. So I took him to the park this week, and I was trying to figure out what the message was. And this topic kept coming to me, and I was trying to think about how I can make it relate to you guys, right? And I came up with food. So he had a temper tantrum at the park, and the crazy thing was, I started thinking about it, and poop in real life poop, right, is kind of like our spiritual anger, right? And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, anger. So I listened to a bunch of things about poop, and let's think about how anger kind of relates to it. So anger is a wasted emotion, right? What do you gain from anger? What does it do in your life, right? Think about that. It's not like it benefits you. It doesn't push you further. It doesn't make you a better person. At the same time, everybody gets angry, right? Everybody poops, everybody gets angry, right? Is there anyone who doesn't get angry? Good. This message is going to make sense. Okay. So, anger is one of those things that, like, everyone has, but if you hold it in, like poop, it gets very uncomfortable, right? Has anyone not felt that? You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah? Don't worry, you guys are burning calories. So you'll know what that means. Right? So it builds up and it kind of just brings you down. Like you start focusing on other things and you start focusing on your anger. So right? Builds up. Anger is one of those emotions where it's like, it's on the other end of the spectrum, right? It's one of those passionate emotions, right? It's funny because anger and love almost go hand in hand, right? Because when you're in love and you're angry, your brain doesn't work the same way it usually does, right? When you're in love, oh, I love you so much, I'll give my life for you, right? You say stupid things. Same thing with anger, right? Same thing with anger. I'm so angry, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Do you punch someone? No, you never punch someone in the face. I'm just so angry, right? Great example. This morning, I was coming to church, I was driving, minding my own business, and this dude just cut in front of me, and then stopped, because we were at a red light. And I was just like, you idiots, right? Anger, instant anger, right? And for no reason, right? That's, like, think about it. Anger comes in so many ways. Like, I can hit my toe on the edge of this counter and, Am I angry at the stupid table? No, right? That's how anger works. I can be angry when I'm driving to work. I can be angry while I'm driving and, I'm stuck in traffic, right? I remember I used to commute 2 hours to work, right? And when I got home, I was the angriest person for no reason, right? And this is what anger does. Now, the other thing about anger is contagious. I don't know if you guys know this. Anger is contagious, kind of like how happiness is contagious. Anger is very contagious. So the example is, if you see someone smiling, you're going to smile too. Just how it works. If you see someone laughing, you're going to laugh too. Same thing with anger. If I yell at Jersha, she's not going to be in a happy mood. The next person to cross Jersha is not going to be happy because she's going to yell at that person. And that keeps going, right? Anger is contagious. So, if anger is contagious, right? Why do we have it, right? It's not like one of those emotions where I go, oh, remember 2 weeks ago when I was so angry? Oh yeah, I was so angry. No, we don't remember our anger. It almost comes and goes. But the decisions we make out of anger, how anger evolves, is what I really want to talk about today. Is we could do so much bad with anger, right? Anger is almost the gateway to sin. Because you think about it, if you're not thinking properly and you start doing things that you shouldn't be doing, that's the gateway to so much more problems, right? If I hit again, go back to the example where I hit my foot on the thing and I say the wrong thing, that's a sin, right? And I'm not even thinking it, it's subconscious, right? It happens, right? Oh, son of a, right? It just comes out, right? And that's every day. Every day we get angry, right? So, give you another story, right? Does anyone know what my most prized possession is in my life? So Jenny, I don't own. Ethan, I don't own, right? This isn't the olden days. There's one thing in my house that I own. It's technically property, it's a thing. There we go, Oscar. Oscar is my most prized possession, right? If you don't know, I have a 5-year-old golden retriever. I talked about him last time. But Oscar's golden retriever. So the great thing about a golden retriever is there's 2 qualities of golden retriever that are what I consider beautiful, right? And that's why I got the dog. One is its chest. So if you look at Oscar's chest, you can't really see it in that picture, but he has like this mane. It's like just hair that just grows super long, right? It grows super long, and it almost looks like a lion, right? So when I walk him, he walks with his chest out, right? Like he's a tough guy with that stupid mane, right? And it's one of those things that make a golden retriever unique. You see it from far away, and you're like, oh, it has the mane. That's golden retriever, right? Fluffy as heck, by the way. Fluffy as heck. The other thing is its tail. So it has a tail that's very long, muscular. So it wags and it breaks everything. The other thing is it has a fan-like tail. So the tail kind of comes down in a fan. So it looks very nice when you cut it properly, when it's combed. And when you walk the dog, the whole reason you get a golden retriever is how it looks, right? So Oscar has been going through some shedding, and he's kind of clumpy, he was clumpy in some areas. So what I decided to do was I started to clip up some of the underfur, which is that white hair that kind of grows under. I cut most of it off, and then Jenny saw it and was like, oh, he looks so ugly. And I was like, he looks fine. So what Jenny did was she booked an appointment with the groomers, right? So I went to the groomers. She booked an appointment yesterday. I went and dropped him off. And this is weird because I've never dropped him off at a groomer's. I've always stayed with him. He's always, I've watched them do the cut and then wash, whatever, and then I take him home. This was, hey, drop him off, come back in 2 hours. This is new to me. So I was like, okay, whatever. Dropped him off, 2 hours later, still nothing. They haven't called me. I went home, I ate. And it's crazy because I was like, okay, what's going on? Another hour passes, still nothing. I was like, this is kind of weird now. All right. Half an hour passes, so 3.5 hours total. And they finally call me back and they say, hey, your dog's ready. I said, oh, okay, everything okay? They're like, yeah, it's fine. So I went and picked up Oscar. And when I picked up Oscar, this is the dog I got. This ain't funny, guys. This is my dog. I have to walk this thing around the neighborhood. Right? This is my dog now. So I said, clip the nails, even out the hair. I didn't realize even out meant shave my dog, because that's clearly what you did, right? And immediately, I was like, anger, right? You've just ruined my thing. This is my thing and you've ruined it. But I didn't do anything. Why? Because I knew this, I was already writing this message, and I was like, oh, you can't get angry, right? So I'm going to tell you how I kind of came about this at the end of my message, but keep this in your mind, right? This is my dog now. This is what I got to deal with at home. So, anger is a gateway to different things. If you let anger fester, it becomes so many different things. So what I want to talk to you guys about is different things that anger turns into. I got 6 points here. I want to walk through all of them with you guys. So the first thing that anger turns into is revenge, right? Revenge. You get angry at someone and you want to get revenge on them. So in this example, we're going to use Samson, right? So Samson, his entire life was a contradiction. Not a lot of people like to preach about Samson because he was a strong dude, but weak morally, right? He was set to be a Nazarite, but he never followed any of the Nazarite rules. God's Spirit came upon him so many times, and he did so many great things, but at the end of the day, God was not with him, right? God left him at one point. So in the book of Judges, we have 12 judges of Israel. They're temporary leaders, right? And when you think about this, he's a temporary leader of Egypt, or of Israel, right? And he got angry. God showed favor on Samson. Now, the thing about Samson is there's a story of Samson where he saw a girl that was a Philistine. Her name was Timnah, right? So he saw Timnah and said, damn, Timnah, right? And he told his parents, hey, I want to go marry Timnah. And his parents said, I don't know, Samson. Like, she's a Philistine, where people don't get along. This isn't what God wants. And he said, no, I want to marry Timnah. So he went and he married Timnah, right? So he had this huge banquet, and he had 30 guys with him, right, at the party. And he posed this riddle. I'm not going to get into the details. But what ends up happening is the riddle was good, and no one could figure out the riddle. And the guy sent his wife to get the answer out of Samson. So Samson told his wife the answer, because it's his wife. And then she went and told the 30 guys. And the 30 guys then told Samson the answer, right? And he got pissed, because this isn't how a riddle works. You're not supposed to ask the answer, right? That's not how it's a riddle, right? So Samson had to go give the reward for people who answered the riddle, right? So now Samson's an angry dude. Samson went and, instead of buying 30 pieces of cloth, he went and killed 30 guys and took their clothes, right? He's already an angry dude. And it only gets angrier, right? So he only gets angry. He's like the Incredible Hulk of the Bible, right? So when he comes back, he gives the 30 clothes and he asks, all right, I'm done with this party. Me and my wife are going to boogie, right? And what ends up happening is his wife is gone. His wife's gone. So his father-in-law basically said, hey, I thought you were so pissed that you weren't coming back. So I married her off to someone else. And he was pissed, right? He was so pissed. Like this was the girl of his dreams, and he was pissed. So what did Samson do? Right? He got revenge on the Philistines. He said, all Philistines are evil, I'm going to get revenge on the Philistines. And Samson's revenge plot was immaculate. Like, it was one of those things that, you see in movies. So, does anyone know what he actually did? It involves foxes. Yeah? Ringing a bell? So I'm going to tell you guys. So, what he did was he caught 300 foxes. Right? He caught 300 foxes. How many of you caught a single fox? Right? Catching an animal is not easy. He caught 300 of these things. Right? Let's do some math, right? say he catches a fox every 30 minutes, right? 300 foxes, 150 hours, right? Doing my math right? Okay. So 150 hours, that's not a single day to catch all these foxes. So Samson was so pissed that he caught these foxes, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and was still pissed that he went and caught more foxes. Right? He went and caught more foxes. Now, not only does he have to catch more foxes, he has to take care of the current foxes that he already caught. This is how mad he was. He caught all these foxes. And that wasn't enough. Once he caught all the foxes, he tied each 2 pairs of foxes tail by tail, right? So he had 150 pairs of foxes now, right? So 2 pairs of thing. Let's go back to this picture. They cut his tail. I don't know how they cut his tail. Because touching an animal's tail, if you step on a tail, oh my God, they're in pain. The man tied tails. He tied tails together. So not only was he pissed that he caught these foxes, took care of the foxes, whatever, he tied the tails together, tied a torch to each of these tails, and let the foxes go out and burn the fields of the Philistines, right? This isn't like this is a plan. Like, this is an Ocean's 11 plan. Like, he took his time, he thought it out, must have found a lot of foxes, and he executed this, right? Now the crazy thing is, this wasn't like, this took time. He went to sleep angry, woke up, went to sleep angry, woke up, and he said, this is what I'm going to do, right? Why? Right? Why? He could have easily gone and burned those things. He put so much effort into this, right? And on a regular basis, when we get angry at someone, how much effort do we put into getting back at someone, right? I mean, shoot, our parents come from a land where they fought a civil war because one side did something, the other side did something. One side did something, the other side did something. And they went back and forth for how many years? Hundreds of years, right? How many wars are going on because one side did something and I have to get back, right? That's the main cause, is I have to get even. But why? You put so much effort and time and sweat and tears into this, but what's the outcome? Like, have you ever gotten back at someone for something? Have you ever thought back and go, man, I really got them good. Yeah, I'm so happy that that. No, it's never that. It's like, man, why did I do that? You're never proud of yourself afterwards, right? Revenge is not something that God wants us to do. Revenge is something that's born of anger, right? It's interesting, because after this, what did Samson do? It's not like he got his girl back. No. She wasn't like, oh, Samson, I want to come back to you because you burned all our crops. And you're immaculate with foxes, and you're the fox whisperer. No. This didn't lead to happiness. This led to a life of women that he didn't love. It led to a life of prostitutes. It led to a life where he got stabbed in the back by the woman he loves. Right? This isn't a happy story. Revenge, you never end well with revenge. Right? Next one, disobedience. So Moses. In this case, we're going to talk about Moses. And, again, Moses was another angry dude. Right? I'm going to talk about a lot of angry dudes in this. Lost my words. So Moses was already an angry guy. In the beginning, we see Moses killed an Egyptian, and that led to him, while he was in Pharaoh's house, and that led to him fleeing Egypt, right? So he's already an angry dude. And then, on top of that, he comes back, sets his people free. They see all these huge miracles, and 40 years in the desert, and they're still the same place. And he's getting frustrated. He's getting angry, right? So God says, hey, they come to an impasse where they say they have no water. And God says, hey Moses, talk to that stone, and water will come out. Right? He says, gather the people, gather the elders, gather your brother, and then speak, and everyone will see the water comes out. Right? What does Moses do? Moses was so pissed. Even though God gave him the answer on what to do, he went on this rant. He said, you guys are... And then at the end, it's not he speaks to the rock, he hits the rock. Right? He hits the rock twice. Right? And because of this, the water still comes. Right? And God was still going to give them water. Moses decided to disobey God and do something completely different. He went rogue. Right? Now it's crazy because the consequence for this was he didn't get to go to the promised land. Right? That's all it took. The 1 second of anger. This isn't like Samson when he went to sleep, woke up. This was an instant. And the consequence was so dire. Right? We deal with disobedience all the time, right? Think about it, like your parents say something and you get angry. Oh, I can't believe she said that. You go to your room and you're crying. I can't believe they said that, right? We do this all, everyone's felt that. Right? The people laughing because they know that exact moment that they went and did that, right? And it's crazy because this leads to anger and then we want to do it anyway. We might not do it the same day because now, the pressure's on us, but we do it later, right? And this is a sin, to disobey your parents. How many of us have disobeyed God? I know I have. I'll tell you something, I don't really talk about this much, but there was a point in my life, so I've been a Christian for a long time, right? I've known Johnny since I was 5, so like almost 25 years, right? Me and my mom used to go to church all the time. Not all the time, we still go to church all the time. And I was a good Christian. Growing up, I was a fantastic Christian, right? Prayed an hour, 2 hours a day, read my Bible, right? And I used to be a good Christian. And then I used to do this thing. Remember? January 1st, I'd start reading my Bible. And I would finish reading my Bible by January 31st, right? Here I am now, struggling to do the 365-day challenge, when I used to do it in a month, right? I was a good Christian, right? I was a good Christian. My mom's there, don't worry. But it stopped. Remember, it stopped. It stopped at one point. It was around the time I was 20 where I was just like, it stopped. And it wasn't like it came to a gradual stop. It came to a complete stop. Like, I just stopped altogether, right? And there's a reason to that. I don't really talk about this, but there's a reason to it. So, for 15 years, I've been a good Christian, a great Christian. And at one point, for those every day for those 15 years, there's one thing I ask for from God. Sam's here. So if you guys don't know, I have a younger brother who's born with autism. And I would pray for his healing, right? And for 15 years, nothing happened. Nothing happened. And I was so pissed. And at the end of those 15 years, it's like, why am I wasting my time? Why am I wasting my energy? Why am I going to church? When the one thing I asked for isn't happening. I was frustrated. And at that point, I stopped. It just came to a complete stop. It's funny because there's Boaz in one of our Sunday schools, right? He said the funniest thing, and I laughed. And he said, I didn't know that he had another son, right? He thought it was just sad. And I started laughing because for that period, after I was 20, for like 2-3 years, I was a ghost in this church. I would show up, leave, walk in, walk out. I'd bring Sam. And at one point, Sam even stopped coming, and I was like, oh, yes, I don't have to come anymore. But no, I still came, right? My mom was still coming, praying, doing her thing. But for me, it was a waste of time almost for me. And that's not how I wanted it. I thought I was doing the right thing, right? Those 3 years were the worst years of my life. Like, I look back now, and I was like, here's rock bottom, and this is where I was. My life was not going the way it wanted to be. Like, I wanted it to be. And I was thinking, after a while, I was just like, what's changed, right? I was happy for so long. And then it stopped. Why? Because I got angry, right? And I started disobeying God. I started hanging out with the wrong people. I started doing the wrong things. I started stupidness, right? And I was disobeying God. Now, lucky for me, my consequence wasn't going to promised land. It wasn't anything crazy, right? I turned my act around, I figured it out. I came back to God, started praying, reading the Bible, got married, and things started turning around, right? But it's crazy that what could have happened in those 3 years, right? Like, where would I have been now if those 3 years didn't happen? If I didn't cause that pressure, right? And it's crazy because I got lucky, right? It could have been a lot worse. It could have been horrible, right? Moses got the raw end of the stick, right? He got, you don't get what we promised you. Where I had the chance to come back, right? This isn't the funny service stuff, right? This is the usual stuff. So, the next piece is jealousy. Anger turns into jealousy.
No fun,
right? When you think about it, what is jealousy? Jealousy is just you being angry that you don't have something that other people have, right? In the Bible, we hear about Cain. Cain, due to the anger in Cain's heart, became jealous of his brother Abel, right? Anger in his life led to him eventually killing his brother. So in Genesis 4:5, let me read from the second. But on Cain and his offering, he did not look for favor, so Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast, right? The consequence of his anger was that he was branded a fugitive of God. He was branded that he couldn't be from the earth, that he had a brand on him, right? He also was taking away his skill. The one thing that made him him, right? He was a farmer. And God said, every time you touch the earth, it will never prosper, right? That was his curse that walked around with him. The one thing that he was known for, he was the best farmer, and that's what God took away, right? When you think about jealousy, right? It's anger that you don't have something that somebody else has, right? When you think about it, God is a God who knows what he has to give to you. So if God hasn't given you something, why are you angry? Right? You trying to go and get something your own way leads to more frustration because it's not God's will. God will give you his blessings in his time. And that's crazy, right? Because if I'm sitting here being jealous of someone, right? That means I have no faith. That's what it means. It has no faith in God that he's going to give me what I need. Right? I have a story for this. So, growing up, Talent parents are notorious for this. Talent parents will compare you to other kids, right? How many of you have been compared to someone else? Younger siblings to the older siblings, older siblings to an older cousin. I have a cousin in my life. He's just a bit older than me. Some of you know him, so I'm not going to say his name. And in my parents' eyes, this guy was on a pedestal. He was the best kid ever, right? Anything he did, right? He got a car, oh, it was the best car. You should get the same car. He's such a good kid. He does this at church. You should do the same thing. And because of that, I slowly started to hate this kid. Like, he was my favorite cousin, but I hated him at the same time. I was so jealous of him, right? And that's what it was. I was jealous of him when I think about it now. There was an amazing moment. I remember this. It was grade 12 prom. So I went to prom. I went to MCI. So at MCI, what we used to do was we used to rent a boat, put all the grade 12s on the boat, let them sail like Lake Ontario for a bit, and then bring them back, right? So my prom was on a boat. Got my suit on, got everything going, and I went. And my parents gave me a phone. And I remember this. Before I even got to prom, prom started at 7. At 6:30, my grandma blew up my phone 5 times. And I was just like, all right, this ain't happening. This ain't gonna be my prom. So I put my phone on silent, and I did one more thing. I put my phone in the glove box. I closed the glove box, and then I got on the boat, right? I got on the boat. Think about it now, stupidest thing I could have done, right? Got on the boat came back at 12, so party ended at 12. I had to help clean up. So me and my boys, we finished around 12:31, right? We were starving, so we went and eat, and we finished eating, and it was around 3-ish, 3 in the morning. And now, remember, I'm not like one of those kids that stay out. This is the first time my parents have given me the car, right? And I'm out till 3 o'clock, right? So I have to drop everyone off, and by the time I get home, it's 4 o'clock, right? Mind you, for those of you in grade 12, don't write this story down. This isn't a good story. Don't go into, Dinesh preached about how he went to prom. No. Right. So I get home at 4 o'clock, and I'm like, oh shoot, I had the phone. So I looked at my phone, and I think it was like 20 missed calls from my mom. And I knew instantly I was dead. Like, instantly, right? So I was like, oh, okay, I'll deal with this tomorrow. So I sneak into the house, walking up the stairs slowly, and I can hear snoring. I can hear my dad snoring. But it's not coming from his room, it's coming from my room. So what my parents did was they decided to sleep in my room to wait for me to show up so they could yell at me, fresh. Angry, woken up, I'm so tired, but I'm going to yell at you. She's laughing, so she knows it's true. So what I did was I went and slept with Sam. I went in Sam's room and I slept with Sam. The next morning they woke up even more pissed because I didn't come and get yelled at that night before. So they came to Sam's room, half asleep, they're yelling at me. I'm just saying, yeah, okay, whatever. Now, luckily that week, that same cousin, his family came over. And town parents have another quality that's fantastic about them. They like to talk crap about their kids, right? And this story came up, oh, my son, you know what he did? And they tell the story. He showed up at 4 o'clock. I I'm just like, oh, here we go, right? This guy probably didn't even go to prom, or he came early from prom, right? It's something, right? He probably taught me somehow. And his parents started laughing. And his parents were like, at least your kid showed up. Our kid showed up 3 days later. And instantly, the glass shattered, right? I didn't care anymore. I was like, why do I care? I was jealous of this guy for so many years. And he's just as bad as me, right? We get angry for these things, and we realize it's not greener on the other side, right? We get jealous of all these people. We see stuff on Instagram and go, oh, I wish I had that car. You know, I wish I had those clothes. You don't see the other side of that picture. How much effort, how much time, how much energy was wasted to get to that, right? We get jealous for all the wrong reasons. Same reason, Cain got jealous for no reason. It was an offering. You do the next one better. No, what he did was he killed his brother. How many of you just deal with jealousy, right? Jealousy is a normal thing. Like, these things I'm talking about, they apply to you, right? You've seen them in your lives, just maybe a bit different, right? It's maybe not the cousin, it's maybe your older brother. Maybe it's something else, right? Our next point is about frustration. So we're going to talk about King Ahab. So King Ahab was considered the evil king. The evil king, right? So he married Jezebel. So one of the stories goes, King Ahab went to Naboth, a man named Naboth, to buy land. And Naboth refused him. So he refused the king. Why? Naboth had a good reason. So the law at the time, by God, was if you inherit land, you not sell it. Right? Because it's your inheritance. And this was land that Naboth inherited from his father. So, by the law, he was doing the right thing. Now, it wasn't like King Ahab gave him a bad offer. He gave him a just offer. He gave him a really good offer. But because of the laws, Naboth said no. Right? What happened? King Ahab got frustrated. He got depressed. He got angry. Right? He got so angry, he went home. And in 1 Kings 21:4, we read, so Ahab went home, sullen and angry because Naboth, the Jezreelite, too many, had said, I will not give you the inheritance of my ancestors. He lay in bed sulking, refused to eat, right? His wife intervened, right? And so his wife said, don't worry, boo, I got this, right? So what she did was really messed up. What she did was she sentenced Naboth to death. And once Naboth died, she took the land and said, here you go, I got you the land. You're happy now, right? That's not how it should have ended. That's not the way God planned for that to happen, right? God gave that land for Naboth, right? And we get frustrated all the time, right? We get angry in our lives, right? And we think about it. I know Johnny last time preached about disappointment. I was like, oh, this is good. I'm going to steal some notes here, right? And we get disappointed in the smallest things, right? So we get disappointed in who we're with, our current life situation, our financial situation, our schooling, right? Our education. Did you get into the school you wanted? No. You get frustrated, right? But why? Again, going back to that point, if God has a plan for you in your life, why are you getting angry over here, right? If you can't see the rest of the plan, that's just God's plan, right? But God has this immaculate plan for you, and you getting angry, having a tantrum like Ethan, doesn't get you any better, right? When you think about it, God's sitting there, kind of like how I sat there, and said, all right, you have your tantrum time, and you're ready to stop being a baby, we'll talk, right? That's what God did. When I talk about my disobedience, same thing. It's not like God smote me immediately. No. He let me do my thing. He said, I'm going to wait for you to come back. You're going to realize your ways, and you're going to come back. Right? And same thing with our frustration. He's going to let you get frustrated. He's going to let you get angry. But it's what you do with that anger. Will that anger lead to sin? It is. That's on you. Right? God's given you this plan, this journey that He's going to put you on. And it's just your anger, your temper tantrum that's stopping you from getting it. Right? The other thing that anger can lead to is malice and slander. So malice and slander is just a really fancy way of saying talking crap, right? So let's read Colossians 3:8. But now, you must also rid yourselves of all things as these: anger, rage, malice, slander, and filthy language from your lips. Also, Luke 6:45. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart. An evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. Right? So if you're angry, you're going to speak angry. The mouth is a crazy tool that God has given us because it can be used to build people up and also tear people down. Right? I could easily say one word to someone and their entire confidence is gone. Right? I could roast someone so hard and they never want to see my face again. Right? Think about it. I could say that to someone and their entire life could change from something I say. Right? And that's the crazy thing. Anger, when we get angry, we're not thinking. If we're not thinking, we could say the stupidest things. We could say something that could crush someone's soul, right? We could speak curses onto someone without even knowing it, right? When our parents get angry, what do they call us? They call us farm animals, right? Mother, right? Honey, right? They call us all these things without even thinking, right? My mom doesn't call me that. Don't worry. My mom doesn't call me that. At least one person. But, right? They call us things without even thinking. But they don't mean it, but they've already said it into our lives. And we start thinking about that. Maybe I am a mom, right? No. Right? But we start thinking that. My parents don't think the same thing of me. My parents don't think I'm good enough, right? And that's always the thing that chases us, right? Is we for those of you who don't know what is water buffalo, water bison, something like that. Moo makes sense. You guys are questioning over there. Don't worry, I got you. And we get this thing where the words that we are spoken our entire life. If you're told you're worthless your entire life, what are you going to be? Worthless. In your mind, you're always worthless. You're always trying to achieve something better. Anything that happens can never be measured to that, right? And that's where words and anger become so critical. Because you could say the worst thing to someone, and that will change the trajectory of their life, right? You could instill a curse upon their life without even knowing, right? And that's the power of anger. It blinds us. It comes over us like a hood, and we don't know what we're doing, right? Last point is obsession, and we're going to talk about Isu. Isu? No? Esau?
No.
I call him Isu. Jenny said the same thing. So Esau was Esau was upset that Jacob had got his father's blessing, right? And he held a grudge against his brother. In Genesis 27:41, Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given. And Esau determined in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. So after this, Jacob fled. He went, lived with his uncle for a bit, and Esau did his own thing. But for this time, it was 25 years, Esau was still pissed, right? Jacob then finished whatever he had to do, and he had to come back to a land called Edom. Edom, not Eden, Edom. And in this land was the land of Esau, right? And we read in the Bible, Esau had collected hundreds of men as an army to stand guard in his land. He surrounded himself with these men. So for the last 25 years, he's been building this army, right? And his army's been protecting this land. Why? Because he wanted to know the second someone put their foot in his land. And whose foot was he looking for? Jacob's. He was still pissed. So think about it. For 25 years, he was so pissed. He didn't do anything else. He didn't learn any new skills. He didn't do anything else. His entire life was built this obsession to kill Jacob for stealing what was his. Revenge, right? It's almost the same thing. But he took it to another level. It became his world. He didn't expand his land, you know. He didn't do anything else with his life. His life was dedicated. It was an obsession, right? And his life meant he was going to get his brother back. We read, his brother finally comes back, and his brother's scared, right? He's scared. 25 years, and his brother's still pissed, right? That's like my parents, right? They weren't pissed. They were pissed that they didn't get to yell at me. The anger that they built up, they went to sleep on, and they woke up, and they were ready to yell at me, right? Same thing. 25 years. Think about that. If I didn't show up for 25 years, how pissed would my parents be? They would be furious. And Esau was pissed. So Jacob comes, and Esau sees him from a distance, and he comes up, He has his men behind him. And, Jacob hasn't been creating an army. He hasn't been preparing for this at all. He's just like, all right, YOLO, this is going to happen. So he goes up to Esau. And what does Esau do? He kisses him. He kisses his brother. Not once, not twice. He continued. It says in the Bible, he repeatedly kissed his brother. Why? Because he forgave his brother. Right? And that's the key. The solution to anger is forgiveness. Right? Esau didn't have any consequences for his anger. His anger turned into obsession, but that was the only consequence. That he wasted 25 of his years being pissed at his brother, only to see his brother and be like, damn, why am I pissed? Right? He saw this in his life and he said, why am I pissed? And he forgave his brother. So how to overcome anger? Forgiveness. Right? We talked about how anger and poop are the same thing, right? There's a saying in English, I don't know how it goes, it's like poop happens, right? Poop happens. I'm probably butchering it, don't worry. But it happens. So why are we getting angry about it, right? Forgiveness is the key to everything, right? God said, forgive your neighbor. He didn't say go get revenge on your neighbor. He said, forgive your neighbor. He said, love your neighbor. Yeah, he said, love your neighbor. Right? The next thing is the fruits of the Spirit. Galatians 5, 22, 23 to 23. But the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And against such things there is no law. Right? So if you have these fruits of the Holy Spirit in your life, how are you going to get angry? I've just listed 7 things. And if you do any of these 7 things while you're angry, you have other problems. You're a psychopath. Right? How are you going to be joyful and angry? Oh, I'm so angry, I'm going to punch you in the face. No, that doesn't happen. Right? Think about it. This is the solution to anger. You can't do any of these things and be angry at the same time. If you can, again, see a psychiatrist or something. Like, this is a bigger problem, right? Jesus also said, turn the other cheek in Matthew 5, 39. Right? From here. You have heard that it was said, eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. So what does this mean? I've listed all the things that anger can become. These are the end games of anger, right? These are what anger evolves into. And if you don't want to get into any of these things, do these 3 things. Right? If somebody yells at you, okay, they yelled at me, right? Let's go back to my story at the beginning, dog story, right? So I see my dog, and I'm pissed, instantly pissed, right? I was just like, first I didn't even believe that was my dog, right? I was like, you gave me the wrong dog. But I knew I was preaching, so I had to use these, right? I said, okay, right? She came to me and handed me my dog, and she decided, this is what kills me, right? She decides to tell me, oh, you know, your dog has a lot of knots behind his ear, you should comb your dog. And I was like, yeah, what am I going to comb? Shave my dog. Right? But I didn't say a thing. I was icing my veins, like straight-faced smile. Okay, yeah, okay, right? I was Kobe in Game 7, right? Nothing could faze me. Because at this point, there's no point in getting angry. Right? Think about it. I could have gotten pissed. I could have wrote the worst Yelp review for this lady. I could have gone home and yelled at Jenny for making me take him to the groomer when he was fine before. But I didn't do any of these things. Why? Because it didn't matter. Why was I getting pissed? Why was I going to let this ruin my day? Why was I going to let this become something worse? Right? Now this is a small example, right? This is a very small example. You're saying, oh, but Dinesh, they did this to me. They did this to me and they hurt me. But you're fine now? Are you hurt? Like, are you physically damaged? No. A lot of people emotionally damage people, right? They did this to me, they did that to me, they said this to me, they did this to my family. But you're fine. God had a plan for you. They brought you here, right? Think about it. Our parents lived through this horrible war in Sri Lanka, right? And like you talk to my mom about her stories, right? And I'm thinking, wow, that's crazy. But she didn't go on that. It's not like she's still there protesting. Oh yeah, this. No. What do we want? No. All right. That's not what she's doing. She came here. She had me here. I made it here. You understand what that means? For all of us that were born here or that live here, we don't have to deal with the problems there. Not to say that's not an issue for us, because that's our culture, that's our family, that's our country. But we made it here. Right? The problems of yesterday don't affect us today. So why are we angry about things that happened yesterday? Forgiveness, joy, peace, all these things bring us to a place where we don't have to worry about these things. Right? I want to leave you with a couple Bible verses. You guys don't have to read them. But if you do get angry, quickly go to these ones. Right? These will tell you. You want to read one of them? Anyone want to read some? I didn't read them. I didn't cut them up. Anyone want to read one? Give it a shot. Here's my readers. Anyone, pick one. It's quiet. Wow, you guys are taking way too long. Alright, I'm going to start picking people. Austin, you got one? Oh, now I get the whole eye contact thing. I can see it now. Everyone's not looking at it. I'll pick someone who isn't looking at it.
Do not make friends with the hot tempered. Do not associate with those who are easily angered.
Right? So if you find yourself in a situation with angry people, you yourself are going to become angry. We said that in the beginning. Anger is contagious. You're going to find yourself doing stuff that you don't want to do. You're going to find yourself being angry for no reason. And if you're not angry, you're happy. Right? It's one of those things. You're not one, you're okay, right? If you're happy, you're good. You're not going to do something out of your way. So write these down. Give me a second. Okay? And that's my message. Right?